Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure to smash a like and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers before the end of the year. Now, today we're talking about England. We're not talking about my beloved club West Ham today. We are talking about England. Unfortunately, we probably will be talking about England for the next month or so. As well as always talking about, club football, the more important stuff. But yeah, there's obviously been a lot of stuff about the media targeting Kobbie Mainoo and Saka. I'm not going to talk about that necessarily today. That's not going to be the main topic, but I do want to put out there at the start of the video because I still think it is important to talk about. It's going to kind of transition into the main subject of the video. The longer this goes on with the underlying, I wasn't going to say underlying issues, I can't remember what the phrase is, but the underlying opinions, let's say, on coloured players in this country, the more I think that coloured players shouldn't declare for European countries. It's a big problem, not just in this country. This country, they tried to do it, racism is a big problem in this country. The problem is they tried to do it sneakily. In Spain and Italy, it's very direct in your face, as we've seen more in the past. Kobbie Mainoo, I'm pretty sure that was his second start for England, and there's already an article about whether he has the discipline to play as a number 6, whereas you would accept someone like a Conor Gallagher running around like a fucking headless chicken constantly. I would rather someone as technical as Kobbie Mainoo than someone as Conor Gallagher. We all watched the England-Belgium game, right? Did you see how bad Conor Gallagher was? I can't remember whether it was Belgium or Brazil. It was the last international break before the season ended. Conor Gallagher was terrible. The fact that he's even in the squad is an absolute disgrace. No, we traded Henderson for a more mobile Henderson, more of a captain Henderson. A very overrated player. I don't know how he's going to go for 50 million if he does get sold by Chelsea. I don't think he will get sold. But whatever. But this transitions into my main topic. The main topic of this video is Gareth Southgate. And he should be the headline, the face of every newspaper throughout this whole segment, throughout this whole saga going into this tournament. Now, England like to rip into their managers anyway. Now, I watched a documentary that was uploaded onto YouTube about England, the hardest job in football and all that. The problem is with all of this is the fact that it's the FA that are the big problem. The FA will hire an Eddie Howe or Graham Potter, who I think are good managers, but not managers for the very, very top level. I like Eddie Howe, I like Graham Potter, but yeah. They are already afraid. They are afraid of hiring a foreign manager because the last foreign manager they hired was Fabio Capello, who has a big thing in Europe, but no England player apart from Jermaine Defoe, from what I've seen, had liked him. Capello is obviously a well-known name in football, has earned his credit in European football, was obviously manager of Real Madrid at one point when Beckham was there, but it didn't work out for him. And it hasn't worked out for a lot of managers when they've had even, I'd say, better squads, because this isn't the best England squad that England have had. Like, the Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes era, the Rooney era, that's a better squad. But this would still be an underachievement, because if you was to call up a bunch of players in England, it would be around the top 5 European countries. But the whole point is that if you're a country as big as England, your thing should be going out to win a tournament, and if you don't know how to win a tournament, you should go. Now, Southgate should have gone, a long time ago. I think you saw in the Italy Euros final that he is out of his depth as a manager. He is completely out of his depth tactically. Cool man manager, cool. You're pretty much like the English Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's a shame that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't in the Premier League anymore, because the comparisons would have been made constantly. However, because he's not in the Premier League anymore, we cannot make those people forget about those comparisons. Ole Gunnar Southgate was the nickname, and he is still proven he is exactly like that. The PE teacher of international football. And the reason why I say that is because you could have all these good relationships with players, and the players wanted him to stay because they like him. However, you have never ever kept the same energy for anyone. And people are moaning about the squad. Now, my only problem with the squad was the fact that Jared Branthwaite was left out and Conor Gallagher is still here. Other than that, and Tomori was left out. And I'm going to say this. A lot of people are complaining about Marcus Rashford not being in the squad. What the fuck has Marcus Rashford done to deserve a space in England? What the fuck has he done? Now, I want to see more people campaigning for Raheem Sterling rather than Marcus Rashford. Raheem Sterling has turned up for England. Raheem Sterling has had a shit season. Marcus Rashford has not turned up for England in a major tournament consistently like Raheem Sterling did in that Euros. Remember, one of the most key players to getting England to that final was Raheem Sterling. So if you're going to credit Southgate for beating all these small teams and small nations, apart from Germany who were falling off to get to the final, then you got to give Sterling some credit. Because when Saka, Kane and Sterling ended up clicking at the back end of that tournament, it was going all right. It was going all right. But if you go back to that tournament with Italy, he took Declan Rice off Southgate for Jordan Henderson. We sat back after an early goal. The worst thing we did was actually go 1-0 up in the fucking first 40 seconds or first minute or whatever it was. Because we then defended like prime West Ham David Moyes. Actually, no. Prime West Ham David Moyes would have seen out the game, actually. Prime West Ham David Moyes probably would have won. I mean West Ham David Moyes of now. Like the one that just passed. No character. The guy has no character. I don't care if a man speaks to the media well. If Germany, a Germany that fell off, a Germany with a Thomas Müller that missed a sitter, was the biggest team, the best team that you beat throughout your international tournaments, you deserve no credit. This squad, with just a little bit of coaching, like you don't have enough time to install a whole thing into international football because you're just putting a bunch of players together. But just a little bit of coaching would do justice. Now, Jose Mourinho would have done better with this England squad in a fucking tournament. He deserves international place because he can pick whoever he wants to pick. I cannot wait for England to underachieve and then people say, oh, it's because we didn't have Harry Maguire in defence. Oh yeah, because we won so much with Harry Maguire in defence. I've always said about the Maguire and Stones partnership that it never works. Sure, Maguire, Stones, Walker is not a fucking winning tournament back four, and it never will be. So we're not exactly missing the Man United players. Sorry, we're not. And if the Man United players were so good, Man United would be so fucking mediocre every fucking year. Every year. One good season, fall back down. One good season, fall back down. That's how you sum up every Manchester United player. Especially all the hyped up ones, the English ones, the Maguires, the Shaws, the Rashfords. Forget that. Raheem Sterling, there's a lot of stuff with the left wing situation. Raheem Sterling, on merit, does not deserve to be in the tournament. However, if you're going to complain about Marcus Rashford not being in the tournament, then you should be complaining about Raheem Sterling. Now, unfortunately, yeah, I get it. We don't have a winger of that profile. I get it. Anthony Gordon's probably the closest to that. However, Anthony Gordon isn't the same profile as Marcus Rashford, is he? But there's other ways of winning a game than running it behind. But you should feel like you have enough players at your disposal to feel like you can change up a game. Now, well done to Barry Eze, well done to Adam Wharton, who deserved to be in the England squad. Curtis Jones did not. Fair enough, Maddison and Greenish on merit did not. However, I would have taken at least one of them. Don't think Greenish at Man City, it's a difficult one because I actually think he did well at the back end of when they were winning the treble. Like when they moved Stones to midfield, Silva and Greenish recycling the ball, I think they did well. But the problem is Greenish as a touchline winger, that's all he's going to give you is recycling the ball. And that's with also the instructions of Pep. At Aston Villa, you saw this creative guy free-flowing and all that. But it's different at Man City. You that's why Bernardo Silva's different. That's why Grealish is different. But that's Pep for you. However, I think Grealish would have given England something. I believe Grealish rises to the occasion unlike certain other players. I believe the same with Sterling. I think Sterling can rise to the occasion unlike certain other players. But I've also complained about certain players not getting stuff on merit as well. You got to have a balance of everything. But the point is, you got to have the manager that actually has the authority to go out there and feel like you can believe to win something. The problem is, in this country, we have this mentality of, but we got to a final, but we got to a semi-final. Did you win it? No, you fucking didn't. You don't get anything apart from a runners-up medal. You don't get anything for losing to Croatia in the final. However, if we won that final, we would have got battered by France, but at least you was in the final to say you was in the final. However, it's still not an achievement to say you were in the final to be in the final. If you get what I mean, you get what I mean. Now, I don't remember who we have in the group. I don't. I think Serbia are in it. But I do believe we're going to slightly underachieve. I believe that, hear me out, we're probably going to lose at least one group stage game. And I wouldn't be surprised if England get knocked down in group stages. However, that probably won't happen. But I believe that we're not even going to reach the semis. England in the Euros, this isn't the World Cup. This isn't Argentina. Argentina are not in Europe. Brazil are not in Europe, even though Brazil aren't, all that. But, all these worldwide teams are not in Europe. This is European. So Germany will be up for it. It's at their home nation, is in their country. Portugal will be up for it because they've got a good squad, but they are exactly like us. Their manager's not good enough for their thing. Belgium maybe could be an underdog, maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. France will probably win the whole thing. Even though Deschamps, you could probably do better than Deschamps, don't get me wrong. They've got Kylian Mbappe. We don't have an Mbappe. Mbappe's meant to be fucking Kane up front. Well, I'll be watching Kane very closely, but however, I will be judging him on context whether he gets enough service. I'm not a hater. Even though I am a hater, I'm not going to base my footballing opinions on hating. And don't get me wrong, all people are going to be like online, well, your star boy didn't perform. Your player didn't perform because you support a different club. If you're an England fan, like if you want England to win, let's say you're one of the people that wants England to win, and you feel like you're part of it, none of that should be happening. However, if you don't, go ahead and do what you want. This is my thing, yeah. It's not gonna I'm not gonna lose sleep over England losing because it doesn't hit the same for me as much as West Ham losing. However, I just say how I see it. I want England to win something. I'm not gonna go to any fucking parade if England do win it, but because it'll be too busy and whatever. It's not gonna be like the West Ham parade. I was there, but I would still want England to win it. I'm from here. I was born here. But that, like, the mentality in this country is awful, guys. The mentality in this country is poor. I believe in Adam Wharton and Kobbie Mainoo should be playing alongside Declan Rice. I believe either one of them, if not both, in certain games. That might be an unpopular opinion. However, I do believe Phil Foden deserves to start. I wouldn't be mad at Bellingham not starting, and people are going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it probably should be Bellingham, Rice, Foden, based on club form going into the games. But an Adam Wharton and Kobbie Mainoo are proper number eights, proper controllers of the game, can dictate in any phase of the game. And they're young. However, if they do underperform in their first ever tournament at their ages, where football has become so high for them straight away, I'm not going to go in on them too tough. I'm not. Because I believe they will play a huge part in, hopefully, if England get it right, a successful reign at one point, at one tournament, even though I don't think that's going to happen. But even if Gareth Southgate goes, which he needed to go, they will hire a Graham Potter. They will hire Eddie Howe. I don't rate Thomas Tuchel, and hiring a German would be highly controversial. But Thomas Tuchel in a cup competition is better than Thomas Tuchel in a league. Thomas Tuchel in a league is not going to win you the league. Thomas Tuchel in at your nation will pick whoever he wants and will find a way to win. He did that in the Champions League a couple of times, getting into finals, but in the Champions League with Chelsea and the team that Lampard said wasn't good enough. He just gets the best out of what he has. When he doesn't have great talent ID beyond that. Now, if Thomas Tuchel was to come into England, let's say, and he started calling up Eric Dyer with him, then I'm going to be like, okay, get the fuck out of here. I don't care how long you've been there. Because you can hold up a red flag instantly when it comes to international football. It's actually easier to sack managers in international football. It's not like club football. It's different. That's what I think. That's why I don't think England will win anything. The mentality's poor. and Gareth Southgate. It's quite easy as that. Now, will we judge players based on actual things and not based on their skin color? Yes, because we're not stupid on this YouTube channel. We're not racist. We will. If I was going to judge Bukayo Saka, it would be on his performance, not on a 25-minute cameo, and not putting him as the face of the newspaper after a 25-minute cameo. I'm not going to judge Kobbie Mainoo as the face of the face of the whole thing after he's had his second England start. I'm pretty sure this is. Really, it should be Harry Kane if you're going to do a player. I don't think Harry Kane even started the last one, because try out Watkins and stuff, even though I don't believe Watkins. Well, it was Watkins or Tony, I don't remember. I watched the game, but fucking shit. The game was shit. One last thing, actually. I need to, before I end the video, here's what I'm going to say. I want to get into the right back. I was going to end the video, but I need to talk more. Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to start. The reason why Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to start against the lesser nations, we're going to have more of the ball. Now, you saw against Iceland, Kyle Walker going forward, he cannot cross the ball for some reason. We've seen it in Manchester City this season. It hasn't been his best season. I rate Kyle Walker, but if we're going to have more of the ball, you get Trent. Better final ball, better in possession, and more creative from the right-back position. However, if you're coming up against the France, you play a Kyle Walker. If you're coming up against Germany, you play a Kyle Walker, Portugal, whatever it is, Spain, whatever. You play a Kyle Walker for the bigger nations because he's just an overall better defender. If Reece James was fully fit throughout the whole season, I would be saying the same for Reece James. But I don't think it would have been safe to call up Reece James because this guy needs to recover better from his injury to get on with his actual career at his normal club. So that's what I want to say about Kyle Walker and Trent. Because we've already just seen it from then. England are going to find it hard to break down teams that are going to let them have the ball. Even though we have the players to do it, we don't have the manager that has any idea to coach anything on the ball. And also then this left-back situation is really bad because Luke Shaw was said by Gareth Southgate at the press conference he's on an uphill battle to get into the final squad, but he then puts him in the final squad. So surely if he was fit enough, he would have played the last fucking friendly. He's not fit enough. He shouldn't have been called up. I'm going to end it there. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.